guys. Thanks for coming. Very great turnout for this presentation. We've got John Orbx coming over, so without further ado, I shall hand over to him.
That wasn't necessary. My goodness. Is everybody enjoying Cosford this year?
Woo!
I mean, it's just growing and growing, isn't it? It's great to see so many new faces here. The queue's getting longer. I think it's a great testament to the state of flight simulation in the United Kingdom that we have such a great show that we can be proud of. So we intend to be here for many years to come, keep supporting the Just Flight team, and Scott does a great job with the team, and everything goes smoothly. So what are we here to talk about today? Well, got a bunch of stuff to cover. We're going to do a recap of what we've done since last October. If you recall, last year we announced True Earth, which was a new technology for Great Britain. And I'm pleased to say that this couple of scenes being captured here. Pleased to say it has absolutely been a stunning success for Orbx. It's a record breaker in terms of sales. It's had rave reviews across the board. We get glowing reports from everybody. We've had a lot of uptake of the airports we've put to it, both for X-Plane and Prepared. And the good news is that we have the prepared versions of Central and North in production at the moment, and they should be out before Christmas. We also moved into North America with True Earth Washington and more recently Oregon. And again, great reception, very, very well received. We've also ported Innsbruck to X-Plane. It's the first airport in Innsbruck that is now across all our simulator platforms that we support. And again, that's been an absolute stunning product for us and really breaking records across the board. So congratulations to Jared for doing a fantastic job on that and seeing his dream realised across 3 different platforms and virtually indiscernible in terms of features and look and feel across those platforms. That's the vision that we had originally. I put a roadmap up a few years ago saying we really want to be platform agnostic and offer the same sort of products across different platforms and let you decide what simulator that you want to run it with. We're not there yet, but we're making progress. Last year we've seen the introduction of physical-based rendering. As you know, or for those who don't know, it's a new way of dealing with textures and light treatment in both Prepared and X-Plane. And the results you can see here are quite spectacular. You get light shining off different surfaces like bitumen and concrete and windows. When it's raining, you get spectacular lighting effects and reflections. It extends to aircraft, to cockpit. So PBR really is something that a lot of developers are now embracing. We're pleased that we released a few airports this year that are fully PBR from the ground up across both Prepared and X-Plane. London City Airport was our debut airport that featured this sort of detail. You can see right down to the aprons just reflecting lighting conditions, the windows are reflecting. Even the static aircraft that we produce are fully PBR enabled. So the engine cowling there reflects that lovely polished aluminium. It's just really quite immersive to walk around the airport and see all those effects happening in real time. We also released London City Airport for Prepared version 4. The gap between the two was perhaps 3 or 4 weeks. And as I keep make a commitment to, we're trying to close that gap until we get to the point of simultaneous release. Leeds Bradford's again was released for X-Plane recently. Again, it's fully PBR enabled. It's got a unique approach and one of the most undulating runways in Europe. It certainly can be a challenge. And again, it's been beautifully captured and integrated into True Earth. So you'd be hard to see the airport boundary other than the fact that we use very high resolution imagery. So the immediate surrounds are about 20 square kilometres. Really quite lovely to fly and do circuits over. East Midlands, was released for X-Plane. This is by a brand new studio. That's what we call our in-house teams. We have two in-house teams, turbulent aviation and GAIA simulation. When we say in-house, it means that they actually work as part of the Orbx team, and they work to much tighter deadlines and schedules, and we manage the output of them and work with them as creative content partners, and we consider them part of the Orbx team. So it's different from us publishing airports and products for independent contractors around the world. So this is that was the debut from GAIA Simulations. I think they did a great job, and also they released it for Prepared as well. So again, the gap between the two platforms was a number of weeks, but all the features are complete in both platforms. Misha and was it Bratislava? Yeah, Mission Bratislava released Belgrade. Again, that's just an iconic part of their series that they're continuing in that part of Europe. There's another one planned. I can't tell you what it is at the moment. It hasn't been announced yet, but they're continuing to create that. They're just that great content and really immersive airports in that part of the world. Why? Because that's where they're from and they're passionate about it, and the passion just shines through in what you see here. Released by Global Buildings HD. It's been a long time in gestation, but it's just broken records across the board for us. It's really spectacular performing product for us, and really it's an essential upgrade. It's, if you've got Trees HD, get Buildings HD. It just does a very simple install and upgrades buildings for the entire planet in Prepared and FSX. Cover on Washington briefly. X-Plane, we will also be releasing that for Prepared. As soon as we finish the UK series, that will be coming to Prepared as well. And also Oregon recently was released. We had some data issues with it. I'll go on record to say that the initial release has some colouring issues. We worked very hard across a number of weeks, got a patch out, and we now have much better colour matching in some key areas. But again, it's a beautiful region, and we've got a lot of content planned to be released for that, that you've enjoyed in FSX and Prepared over a number of years, so you'll be able to see some of those. So we made a commitment over 18 months ago when we said, look, we're going to embrace X-Plane, but we're not going to just embrace it, we're going to move a lot of our content across to it. And so we've been fairly aggressive with that. In the last, since last October, in that 12-month period, we've released over 40 products. 13 of those have been for the ESP platform, so FSX Prepared, and about 33 of those have been for X-Plane. Of course, the perception in our customer base and community is like, what's happening with Prepared, all these X-Plane releases. Let's just put it into context. A lot of these airports and products have been available to our customers for over a decade. What we're simply doing is giving them, putting them to X-Plane, modernising them a little bit, using new modern libraries, and just integrating them with the regions. So this is just a little sample of what we've done for the Pacific Northwest area. So all those experiences that you're used to and loved in bush flying are becoming available for the X-Plane platform. And we have many, many more to come, and we even have brand new content to come for both Prepared and X-Plane for the Pacific Northwest area. We are also planning to expand to other parts of the US, but we, at the moment, the Drawyah series is continuing down the West Coast, and then we're looking to start on the East Coast as well. Holger and Frank Schneemann, Holger Sam and Frank Schneemann worked on this project for around about 9-10 months, and introduced some incredible new technology with the cityscape, whereby what you're looking at here is the entire area around the Honolulu, and the actual buildings and the textures of the buildings is from the actual housing and the buildings that you see. So we're creating a technology that is not quite photogrammetry, but it's sort of a 0.75 photogrammetry. And we continue to spend R&D on that sort of technology, which will extend, beyond what we've done here. It will extend to other platforms. The idea is really to take the textures that are there in the imagery and extrapolate them into 3D objects. And we're putting further R&D into that technology, building a team around that. So what you're seeing with Honolulu is really just the tip of the iceberg. It's really just us looking at what we can do. We've got about 3 different systems of producing cities at the moment, and this was the one that has emerged as getting probably the best results of the 3 techniques that we have. Look forward to, and of course you saw that with Melbourne as well. So Australia used that similar technique to create the city of Melbourne in beautiful detail. I think there's a shot coming up here of Melbourne suburbs and downtown. Beautiful, beautiful details in the Great Barrier Reef, coastal areas. Again, this has been a spectacular success for us. Many of us sort of grew up with Australia. That was where we started the company. That was our first region. And to see it just get this attention now, 12 years later, that's just gorgeous Melbourne downtown. That sort of level of detail is just stunning. So this technology will be transportable across different simulator platforms, emerging platforms. So there's a lot more for us to come in terms of cityscapes and that technology. Ben McClintock and the IT team have spent about 10 months building Central version 4. The vast majority of you are now on this version, and we're retiring FTX Central 3. And Central really just consolidates a lot of the things that you've been asking us to do. We want to be able to purchase inside Central, but you don't want to go to the website and click this and that and then get a notification and go to. We just want to do it all inside the app. We want everything to be easy, accessible. We want updates to be automatic. We want to be able to set preferences. We want to be able to store add-ons outside the simulator pool folder. We want to have symbolic links that we're doing mainly, but we want Central to look after that for us. So we've listened over a long period of time, and basically what we've got now is really, it's what we call the first pass of Central. It's maturing, we're listening, we're getting feedback. We had an open beta and got a lot of valuable input from every one of you. That's made it a really solid platform now. We feel that Central is probably the premier product delivery platform in the flight simulation space worldwide. I think it's the envy of many other companies that it's just such an easy, cohesive experience. The transaction is built into it, and it's fully extensible to not just Orbx products, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Central is the first platform that allows you to buy an add-on, for example, Innsbruck, and install it and manage it across 3 different simulators and across 3 different operating systems, and do it seamlessly and have the same app running on Mac, on Linux, on Windows, across different simulators, and it just works. So we've also done a lot of work underneath the plumbing in terms of downloading. For example, when you now download a region, you're getting at least 10 to 15, even 30% better performance depending on what file formats that we're delivering to you. So there's an immense improvement in performance. And we also have an integrated backup system, so you can now choose, yes, I want to back up everything I install. Means that for some reason you need to free up some disk space, you can uninstall a region, but when you go to reinstall it, you can choose where to reinstall it, and you don't have to re-download again. It will just grab your backup, bang, it's back on again. And we support the Lockheed Martin standard for add-on XML packages as well. It is not perfect yet. There are a few warts still in there. We understand, we listen to, we hear, but as I said, the vast majority of you are using Central now. Okay, so let's talk about that's what we've done. This is what we're going to do. So we acquired the assets of Earth Simulations, the company that was around for quite some time, and Darren and Vicky were renowned for their attention to detail. They had birds singing and cows grazing and mooing. It was just lovely stuff. I enjoyed buying their stuff, and I supported them and got to know Darren and Vicky. And they decided they wanted to focus on something else. So I said, all right, we'll take it off your hands. We haven't been the best custodians of it because we haven't actually done too much of it. But I'm here to say we're just about ready with Albany, which encapsulates exactly the work that they did, and we've enhanced it further. Just tidied up a lot of the water masking added crisp new imagery, and in fact remodeled the entire airport. Russ White has worked on the terminal, so you're getting a lovely Russ White model airport terminal at Old Neath. We'll make that available for X-Plane as well, and we'll continue working on the other Channel Islands. I'll find a shot of the terminal here. We expect that out in the next couple of weeks, probably. Drawyah, Northern California. This is a shot I took a couple of days ago. It's in beta testing right now. You can see the Apple campus here, the spaceship, the parking lot, and the Steve Jobs Theatre. You look out there, you can see those big blimp hangars. Further down the road, you can see the Google Pleps, the big Google headquarters, Oracle, San Carlos Airport. Further down, you can see there's San Francisco International and the city. Even in this early stage, it looks quite good. The auto gen that we're using here is placeholder. We actually have specific bespoke California bungalow type housing being built, different type of buildings that more reflect Silicon Valley. So it's going to feel like you're flying over Silicon Valley. This is downtown San Francisco. Again, this is a full PBR cityscape. So, you're going to see lighting reflect off all of those. The night lighting is quite special. The Golden Gate Bridge, that's a placeholder at the moment. We're just putting a more efficient and looking model in. It looks like this is San Jose, I think. Yep, San Jose, looking towards San Jose Airport over there. You've got some superb terrain in North California. So you've got, if you go further north towards Oregon, you've got the redwoods, lots of dense forest. Then you can see it start to dry out, and that red soil coming through. It's just beautiful to fly over some of that dry as you go further east. It dries up, and just to go from Silicon Valley down through the over the bay towards San Francisco, it's a great experience. Absolutely lovely to look at and fly over the sim. That's looking at San Jose approach there. So yeah, we actually have Northern California. We've got Northern California on the show floor. We've got that Cessna 172 cockpit. So if you want to have a bit of a fly, go to Half Moon Bay or Monterey, or take off and do a touch and go with the KSO. You can do all that. And again, it's in the beta testing now. It usually means it should be released 3 to 4 weeks from now, depending on how many watts we find it. The beta testers are quite harsh on it sometimes. Turbulent design, released TerraFlora, were prepared some time ago. It was very well received in the community. And what we're doing is now taking that and releasing it for X-Plane. It will do a complete upgrade of your tree textures for default X-Plane. We're already using TerraFlora in our True Earth region, so you get that anyway, the True Earth. But this does the whole, so I'm showing default scenery. This is around Paderborn in Germany. I'm showing just what it does to enhance the look and feel of default trees right around the world. And again, we expect it to be released very shortly. We've established new airport teams in-house that are creating new content for us. And this is Tacoma Narrows Airport, which has been built by our newest team. And these guys have only been with us for about 4 or 5 weeks. And they're already showing quite prowess at what they're building. We've decided to go back to the Pacific Northwest and build an airport that people have been asking us for in Tacoma Narrows, and we're releasing that for X-Plane and prepared currently. There's just some lovely details here. Very, very early build of it. We're not even at alpha build yet, but it's already looking quite spectacular. You got the Tacoma Narrows Bridge there. It's fully integrated into True Earth. Beautiful details on the ground. I don't think this is quite BBR shots yet, but the detail is lovely. Lovely architecture, right down to the roof tiles there on that FBO. It's just quite nice. And I just wanted to say, share a surprise with you that we sort of alluded to. Edinburgh Airport. Edinburgh Airport is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. This runs on X-Plane at 50 frames per second with all slows max. It is an absolute monster on airport in terms of performance, of how it looks. This is again from our in-house team, Gaia Simulations. And this is their second offering. We can see the improvement in quality that you've from EGNX to EGPH, leaps and bounds. We're mentoring them, we're being harsh on them, we're telling them make it better, make it faster, and this is the result that we're seeing now. We're seeing spectacular modelling, beautifully integrated with True Earth, great lighting. You could almost, you'd say Viva Photos, basically. I was blown away when I saw it. My apologies for the AI traffic. I know that United doesn't fly into Edinburgh, but I just installed this thing called Traffic X, and then just all these things, aircraft came up, and I think it looks almost like Schiphol because there's so many K-leaps. But anyway, apologies for that. But yeah, it's just, I just couldn't stop taking screenshots. You can see all the way across the water there, on the other side. Beautiful night textures, lit up, looking towards the city behind. Nice approach, wonderful textures, very, very high resolution textures. Again, this is pre-beta, so we're going to be in beta next week, which means, again, it should be in your hands in about 4 weeks from now. You can see the PBR fully at work here on the tower, the reflections on the apron. So when it starts raining, you'll see water puddles forming, all the rest of that. There's a full interior of the tower as well. So that will light up at night, you'll be able to see all the terminals and that thing. So just lots of little details that we really like, The good news is, we're going to release it concurrently for Prepared and Explain on the very same day at the same time. So what we've been talking about for a year, we're finally there, and we'll press the on-sale button for both platforms at the same time. So this is what we're working towards, being platform agnostic. We've got teams working that not just for one platform. We basically have a workflow that says 85% is common assets, and the last 15% is simulator specific. It doesn't matter what platform that we deal with. This workflow has been developed over the last 12 months, and you can see here that the prepared version looks equally as good as the explained version. Again, this is a slightly earlier build, but the details there. We're also doing Newcastle Airport. All the people up north, this is just a very early render of the terminal. Again, with the imagery we've got there is pristine 30 centimetre quality. We're going to have the whole 20 square kilometres around. It's going to be fully integrated into True Earth. All the stuff that you're used to from Orbx Airport will be there. And yeah, just a very nice project at the moment. All right, so that's some of the stuff that's coming up. But I just want to talk very quickly, I'm sure I'm going for time, about some of our partnerships and some exciting new developments with Orbx and other partners in the industry. The first of which are our good friends at Milviz. I'm pleased to announce that today, that very shortly we'll be offering the entire Milviz catalogue on the Orbx Direct Store, and also be fully manageable from Orbx Central. All updates will be seamlessly delivered. You can have real-time updates done, fully patched. And this includes the entire library of 29 products available today.
Oh.
All right, where's my IT support team? I've got hope down. Good thing is we've got lots of time. What's the golden rule of demos and presentations? What will go wrong? Battery was 45%, 20 minutes ago. It's really, he's getting excited.
Oh.
There you go.
Ah.
What do we do now? Here we go. Ah, look at that. So this is just a small sample of their library. It includes the projects they have currently on the way. I think there's three quite quite appealing aircraft that they're working on. I think if you go to their website, you'll see what their projects are. We can't give you status of when that we released it. Not sure when this is going live in terms of being available in Orbx Direct. Do we have a time frame on that, Ed, Ben? No? Watch this space? Okay. So, again, this is the first time that Orbx has embraced a third-party vendor into our product delivery system. We're going to make sure that it's done right. We're going to make sure that it's a no-brainer for you to install, purchase, install, manage, and keep these add-ons updated. So, while we're on the subject of that, we can also announce that a new development studio called SkyPark Development is bringing to us their library of superb warbirds. And this is a studio that has had experience in developing this content for FS9 prepared flights in World DCS. They've got extensive experience. And the first of these that is being delivered is the Spitfire Mark 14. 100% built by the book with full PBR support. The most incredible detailing I've ever seen inside of the cockpit. Beautiful details inside and out. The sun is going to glisten on that bird as she flies through the air. We've got it sitting here at Goodwood. Just let the pictures do the talking. It's got the Griffin engine, she's got a 20,000 foot ceiling, climb rate, it's just incredibly impressive. SkyPark Developments are a team of really talented artists, and they have a lot of experience in developing content across many simulators. And we're really pleased to welcome to the Orbx family. Actually, the CEO, Elise, is here. Elise, you've got a few other warbirds in development as well. Can you quickly tell us what else you've got planned for?
People, yeah. The Meteor, Vampire, Wildcat.
Fantastic. So we're really excited to be partnering. The product just speaks for itself. It's just superb. It's giving me goosebumps looking at these things. So I can't wait. Can't wait to do this and experience this in VR as well. It's just going to be exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. Okay, so let's continue on discussing our new partnerships. Just want to talk to you about the SkyPark. We did make an announcement in Orlando, and it's really the project is undergone some extensive re-engineering in the last few months. But really, instead of letting me do the talking, just want to welcome to stage my good friend Ed Sorinado, who's the managing director. Let's take you through what's happening with the SkyPark. Cheers, Ed.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. The SkyPark. First of all, I want to thank everybody that has put forth lots of great feedback after the announcement. I think it's important to sit back after you announce a product and just listen to the music being your voices. We've taken a lot of time to listen to everything people had regarding feedback and implement some changes on the background, thus the delay in our release. I feel like we broke a promise, not meeting the mark with spring 2019, but I feel that it was for the very right reason, which was listening to feedback. One of the bigger pieces of feedback that we received was regarding the subscription model. I know it's fresh to a lot of you to pay for a subscription for live, living, dynamic content. And we hope that over time we're able to prove to you that having a dedicated full-time team of people working to bring you adventures and content inside the simulator with full immersion of actual objects modeled is going to be an ultimate new way to enjoy your sim, like a living world. However, for those that we can never convince, to go down the subscription model path, we thought to ourselves, what can we do to offer a bit of a, and I don't want to use the word light, but a bit of a disconnected or offline SkyPark experience. Through some code changes on the back end, we recently announced on our pilot portal an offline version. So we're going to be kind of splitting off the product into the SkyPark and the SkyPark Online. The SkyPark will be available, we're aiming for December this year, so just a few months away here via the Orbx store. The SkyPark will give you all of the adventure system, everything kind of automated, running locally on your system. You'll have a very light economy, not kind of this dynamic, growing and ever-changing economy, but a very light economy, and plenty of adventures fed to you as well. You'll have the SkyPad, which you all might remember from the initial announcement, but some of the things that require a server infrastructure on the back end to maintain won't be available in that offline version. I think we're starting to see in the market today that when you require an infrastructure, things get big, and unfortunately what we're seeing today is the loss of some really cool products in our community because those infrastructure requirements are getting large, because the user bases are getting large, but the business wasn't built to sustain that. What we're looking at here is full-time employees working on this product to bring you the content, and for that reason, all that living content requires that subscription to keep growing and keep running. One of the cool things we recently did with the Area 51 raid, which you all might have seen all the hype on the news and everywhere and on Facebook, we took a spot out in the desert where the Area 51 gate is, and we completely recreated the scene. So imagine that at the start time of that event, all of a sudden in your sim, you get a job to run supplying food out to people at the Area 51 party. And if you happen to cross the line, perhaps your engine's shut off or something of the sort. Literally anything is possible inside the SkyPark. We've got full control externally of the sim internally to make really neat things happen, including placing all these objects, which were placed by us. No installation, no restart of your sim, they just simply appear like that. At the end of the events, they disappear. So expand the mind a bit beyond kind of the silly and think about really neat adventures that you can go on in your sim in the future. I recently watched a documentary about installing high output power lines in Alaska, and it just sparked so many ideas instantly. Can we have people fly these things out? Can we add these barges where they call their command centers? Can we add these barges into the sim? The answer was just simply yes, yes, yes. We can add these barges off the sides of the rivers. We can make them landable helipads. We can have you carry supplies up to a designated mountain and drop them off. We can have it so that 10 people have to do it before the first platform appears. 10 more people have to do it before the post appears. We can do all of these things, and right now, we're asking for you to share your ideas on what we call the pilot portal. The pilot portal is at portal.theskypark.com, and it's your direct connect from your ideas and voice to the content creators that are going to feed this system with content. If you remember Mad Libs, where you kind of write the story and it's got all the blanks and you fill in words and you fill in a verb, a noun, an adjective, and kind of create this story. That's what the SkyPark is like on the back end for us as the developers. We have tools that allow us to build missions with dependencies, with goals, with trigger points, etc. But it's hard for a small team to think of everything. And for that, we're asking the community to engage and bring us your wildest ideas so that while we're at this phase of building the core piece that we can properly account for every type of scenario, right? Like if you need a sound to be played on drop-off or a sound to be played on pickup, that's the kind of stuff we're looking at now. Also at the pilot portal will be, as you can see here, kind of like the update and release date. All of our news is being posted here. A big thanks to everybody on the Orbx Direct forums, on the Orbx forums, asking for updates. Ivana has been actively posting in there as well, informing everyone to head over to the portal to get the news. We're working with Orbx to better deliver the updates straight into the forum. So we'll be creating a little section on the Orbx forum as well to deliver that news. Some other cool things, we've got some working vehicles now that will bring cargo out to the aircraft and pick the cargo back up. But if you head over to the portal, you can actually see a video of it in action. It's amazing. No more linear vehicles that are following what looks like a railroad track. These vehicles are very organic and have a dynamic path as well. They can be on the yellow line, swerve the yellow line, take wide S-turns and narrow S-turns. When they pull up to your aircraft, they could break off to the right, the left, the center, around. It's all very dynamic and organic so that it feels real, right? Like a real person is sitting there driving this vehicle. So really cool stuff. Ideas. We're turning our crate into an ideas box right now. We're asking that everyone that has those wild ideas, please head over to portal.theskypark.com and share them now so that we can build this for you. Thanks, guys. Back to John.
That's pretty cool stuff. So again, that's exclusively available via Orbx Direct, and we're working with Edson and his team to make a rich user experience. And again, this will be across multiple platforms as well. Initially for prepared only, but we are looking at other options there. So Orbx has always been a cloud-based company. Well, actually, when we first started, we had a little office in St Kilda Road in Melbourne, but we quickly realised that we were punching way above our weight and decamped back to our virtual offices and basically operated in the cloud. But in this year, we've moved to brick and mortar for the very first time. It's a very exciting phase for our company. We're undergoing incredible growth, and we have to put on developers to realise the vision that we've got. I talked about what we released in the last 12 months. In the next 12 months, we are releasing 125 products. And to release 125 products across multiple platforms, you need people. You need people in a central location. And the first of which is our UK development centre, just outside of Portsmouth, a town called Havant. And this used to be an old IBM disk drive factory, believe it or not, in the 80s. It's had various tenants since Seagate. It's now an incubator for tech and startup companies. And Orbx has 5,000 square feet in this section here. This is all Orbx. And we moved in June. This is our lovely receptionist, Laura, who will greet and smile our visitors as you walk in. And we've decorated the office just with stuff that we've made. Just to remind everybody what they're here to do when they get to their desk, you know. So just behind the reception desk, you can see a 301 taking off from London City, a Cessna over Chicago, a Hawk going through the Mac Blue. Just makes you feel good when you walk into that. And not only that, all our offices we've chosen to decorate in various styles. We've got East Midlands on the wall in the background there. And it's just a view of some of our developers. Proud to say that's Phil, my son, who works for Orbx 1 day a week. He's finishing his uni degree, but he's a texture artist working on True Earth regions and the like. And again, we've got, we're very proud of what we've done, so we've kept it simple. There's a simulator room. It's a shot of a C-172 cockpit. Behind that, we've got the simulator that you see on the floor in the show. We're still working on setting up a really nice display system for that. And it gives both staff and visitors the ability to experience what we make in a really immersive environment. We also make sure that our staff have a place to chill out. Friday nights we do beer and pizza after a review meeting, get the Switch and Xbox out, have a bit of fun. And in all our offices we've said, well, asked the managers, what do you want? You know, so we've got the Innsbruck room here for visiting managers. We've got Southampton in the foyer. This is my office. I've got Seattle behind me. Just like that. Nice. The boardroom, again, showing what we do. And this is our development manager, Greg, looking as though he's actually working, I think. In fact, his desk was so messy, it took us about 5 minutes to clean the crisp packets off. No, not true. No, he's really very tidy bloke. Some of our people at work, this is Becky, and just working on some 3D modelling for one of our airports coming up. Another model being work in progress. I just want to share with you just exactly this is what we do now. We've got a place that we can call home. We're very proud of. We've got young graduates from Portsmouth University and all over the country coming in, joining us and creating this exciting content. These guys are what worked on the Tacoma Narrows Airport. We've already got other airports in place that they're working on. Here's George, a texture artist, looks very happy to be there. You know, our motto is the beatings will continue until staff morale improves. You know? Melbourne. So the home of Orbx is moving to a brand new office at Essendon Airport. This is the Essendon Airport terminal that has been repurposed and given a new lease of life. And it is Melbourne's first airport. In fact, when I immigrated to Australia, I'm originally born in Holland. We landed at Essendon Airport for the last commercial flight ever to land at Essendon Airport before Melbourne International opened up the next day. And it was such an occasion. I had 10 siblings, so here were 11 children, all in matching green aviator jackets. My mum and dad, we were all on the apron, and then the local newspaper took a photo of saying, "Children's big day at airport." And it's funny that that very apron that we walked off that 727 is where the new Orbx officer, in fact, where that aircraft is where I walked off the apron 50 years ago. And this is where we're returning to. This is the view that Ben's going to have from his office. Or from his desk. I think there's going to be like a contest, there's going to be like a lottery going on, so who gets the seats near the window so they can sit there and plane watch all day instead of So that's really exciting to have bricks and mortar finally for the first time, a place that we can call home, a place where we can have various teams, functions happening, and Australia is where the management team is, the financial team and the IT team. So all the code stuff is done in Australia, all the company is run and managed from Australia, and the UK is our development centre. It may not be the last bricks and mortar offices, we may expand to other parts of the world, but for now this is where we're focused on. So I just want to come to the end, and I think that we have got 5 minutes left. I want to quickly make a quick announcement about some organisational changes, and then open up really quickly to some questions. I'm not sure we've got a lot of time for questions, but first of all, I want to introduce today the new Chief Operating Officer, Chief Executive Officer of Orbx, Anna Cicognani. Anna, please stand up. Please give her a warm welcome. Anna's joined us about a week ago after a very long and extensive executive search for a replacement CEO. We've had investment come into the company, we're growing, and we need someone to lead Orbx to that growth. And I don't have that skill set. I was the first one to put my hand up saying, I'm a developer first and foremost, I'm passionate about making product, I want to keep doing that. My involvement in the company hasn't lessened in any way whatsoever, but we just need a strong and experienced leader to grow the company and take it forward. And joining Anna is Ed Correa, who's been with us for 10 years, but he started officially as our CEO. Stand up, Ed. We're trying to convince Ed to join us full time for quite a long time, but he's made the jump, and I'm so pleased that he's come across. And Ed will be looking after all aspects of operations in the company, so product delivery, etc. Very big responsibility, and he's hit the ground running. I'm also pleased to announce that Ben McClintock is taking on the role of Chief Information Officer. Ben, stand up. what Ben and his team have done is nothing short of remarkable. He's transformed the way that we sell, he's transformed the way that we appear to our customers. He approached me, was it now, 6 years ago or more? Said, John, your website's rubbish. This young Brad from uni said, do you want me to try and make it better? I said, I could have told him to go away. But I said, yeah, absolutely. Come and join us. Come and show us what you can do. And what he has done and his team has done is just fantastic. And we're really pleased to announce that he's taken on this responsibility. What my role is I'm moving to a founder chief product officer role based in the UK Development Centre in Havant, leading those teams, building those teams, working on creating partnerships and relationships in the industry, and just doing what I love doing best. And that is, why is this thing when you're looking and it's just making, it's just making great content and really being at the centre of the creation of new stuff. So that is it. That's our presentation today. In terms of what we've got for the future, we've shown you some roadmap stuff. We're going to share another roadmap, probably Christmas, January timeframe. Again, please don't hold us to account. We promise a lot of stuff, but don't always deliver in the year that we talk about. But we do our best. I think our scorecard on our last roadmap is that we're pretty much on track to deliver most of what I mentioned a year ago. So we have 2 minutes left for questions. Yes, sir.
Hi, just wondering if you've either been approached by or if you're in talks with Microsoft developing regions for their application.
Well, if you looked at, did anybody see Callum Martin's interviews on YouTube? So there was an interview with 2 of the developers from Sober Studio, and he asked a specific question: what about Orbx? What about all their content? What's happening there? Have you been talking to them? And the response from the Sober was, yes, we're talking to those guys. Okay? Does that answer the question? Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. Explain sort of primes itself on the contour runways. And I noticed, well, for all the UK airports for Orbx, but I think the only one that has contour airways or runways is Leeds Bradford. The others don't. And I was quite surprised by that. Is that something that you should be working on for all your runways through the UK? Or explain products like that?
Well, I believe there's no real limitation with the mesh system in X-Plane in terms of having sloping or contour runways. I think Leeds is quite exaggerated because it is the bumpiest runway in the UK, so it's very evident to see. I'm not sure. So are our other X-Plane releases that we've done recently completely 100% flat? They're not sloping at all?
No, that's flat.
Okay.
Austria especially.
All right, all right. I can check with my development team and find out if that's a design decision or it's just a limitation of porting from prepared. So we can get an answer to you, not a problem. Yeah. One more question. Sparks?
You're doing alternate. Are you doing the other channel at least? You're doing Jersey and Guernsey?
Yes. Yes, we're doing all the Channel Islands and we're doing the Isle of Man. We're using all of those simulations content and we have promised to take it to market and we will take it to market. So you'll have it in your hard drive in a couple of days to a week from now, so very exciting. One last question, sir.
What was the company you bought it from?
Earth Simulations.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. One more thing. To celebrate Cosford, we've got a sale starting today, 35% off all products.